This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mailbag here on this Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. We've got a lot of emails, as we did last week. This may be a part one, part two scenario. We'll see how things roll along on the show here. Just because of the volume, it's going to be a lot to shove it in one show. I may, like I said, I may split it. So let's get into it. Patrons, you guys are up first. And then if there's time in this episode, we'll get to the... everyone else who's a non-member on Patreon, and even those that aren't, of course, we will get to you, okay? I do my best to get everyone on the show. As you took time to email me, I will take time to make sure you get your voices heard on the show. So, let's get to it. Let's start with the patrons. Let's start with Alex, the French guy, and he says, "Hey, Matt, the least I can say is that 2024 is already a crazy year in wrestling. The investment of people to see Cody versus Roman is nice. But I have to tell you, if you dumb fans strip me away from my Roman and Rock, it doesn't happen, I'm going to be mad." Okay. So it's now your match, Alex. Not anybody else's. It's now personalized to you. I mean, I know what you mean. I'm just being a jerk. Okay. So you say, because let's face it, Cody can win anytime and still has time to do so. I don't know why the fans suppose that Cody in the main event of WrestleMania would win. My guess is that Roman would win either way. Cody's story is not about Roman Reigns. It is about the WWE Championship. Rock's story is about Roman Reigns. It's about who is the head of the table. Plus, I'm 100% sure that once Cody wins the title, he will be even less interesting character unless he turns heel. Alex, I have to say, I want Cody to be heel as well. I think he would be much more enjoyable on my TV screen, but you and I mean, let's be serious here, are in the minority. You listen to the reaction for Cody. I have heard almost no one boo Cody, and the support for Cody is growing, not lessening, which means they have already placed him in the face of the company role. He's been there for a long time now, almost by default, and it just kind of fell into place. How it happened and why that happened and all that. You could do some kind of psychoanalysis on the whole thing, really. I don't know. But the fact is that there is no interest and no discussion at this point in WWE of Cody turning heel. Is it something they'll do? Yeah, down the line. But the fact that it's not going to happen, the fact is that it's not going to happen, I would say in the next 1, even 2 years. That's how long I think they are going to try to string this out, unless the fans organically turn on him, which is very possible. But you're right. The Cody story is about the championship. Rock story is about the head of the table. They're after two different things from Roman, which is why I think they're going to team up. And they have teamed up against him. It's just, how do they play this out? Does Cody and Roman have night one and Rock and Roman have night two? Is it, Cody's going to be after WrestleMania or at WrestleMania, and The Rock is we're going to learn so much at this press event. So let's let it play out there, and we're going to have a lot of hopefully good things to talk about after. So thank you, Alex. Let's get to Mr. Whisper in the Wind over on Patreon, and he says, "Hey, Maddie." No, I don't think anyone else calls me Maddie other than. I have a couple people in my real life that call me that. So it's kind of weird that a patron is, but I'll let it go. Hope you've been well and enjoyed the Rumble. I've definitely been in that situation with my girl and our son where I'm trying to quietly watch wrestling while they sleep. Totally off topic, but I think you should have Jared Carabas on your show. He's been a baseball media guy for Barstool and the Red Sox, and I listen to him, and he definitely has a good vibe for this show. I have no idea who that is. Should I? Maybe I'm embarrassing myself right now. I have no clue who he is. Maybe if I heard him or saw him, I'd go, oh, I didn't know his name, but I know the guy. But okay, I'll take a look and see who he is. And maybe you're right. Maybe he'll be a nice, kind of quick addition to the show. We'll explore. I still think Drew is not 100% heel. He's showing it a lot and having cheap shots to others here and there, but he's entertaining, and it's not hard, or rather it is hard, to hate this heel character when he deserves to win in front of a crowd. What's your prediction for Becky versus Rhea at WrestleMania? We know Becky is winning in the chamber. Will Rhea be the babyface by the time the match starts? Cheers, brother. I got 1 year of my sobriety last week. Well, first of all, that's priority here. Congratulations on the sobriety. That's awesome. That's something to hang on to and continue. I mean, obviously, I don't need to tell you that that's a hell of an accomplishment. And I'm sure some days are tough, but if you got a family, maybe you lean on that and say, if for nothing else, do it for them, right? I mean, I don't need to be an inspiration of any kind here, but all right. So first of all, Drew McIntyre not being a heel, I think that is something that has fully transitioned now. I will have to disagree that it is a full transition. You can't attack CM Punk, who's actually injured, say that you prayed for this to happen, and not be a full heel. I know there was some ambiguity over the last several months with Drew. There was kind of like, well, yeah, he kind of is. He's leaning that way, but then he'd fall back into the light, and now he's back into the dark. No. He is a full heel. You can't do that to CM Punk and say that he's actually not a heel. On top of that, he then attacks Seth Rollins, who's actually injured, and headbutts him. And then Claymore at the end of Monday Night Raw to Cody Rhodes, who is the biggest babyface arguably in the company right now. Well, love it or hate it. I mean, he is working with and attacking the 3 top babyfaces in the company. So, I mean, I have to disagree a little bit there, but I understand what you're saying in that he's entertaining. And it just means he's doing a hell of a job as a heel. It means he is doing his job. Now, his job, some would say, is to make us actually pissed off. But you can also say that if he's entertaining in a way that makes you want to see somebody beat him up, then he's still doing his job. If he's entertaining in a way that you're like, man, I love this guy, he's awesome, I would cheer for him, then no, that's not the reaction I would imagine they want. But I know what you mean. It just means Drew is doing a awesome job. I think that's what this comes down to. As far as Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania, if that's the case, I don't care. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me who faces Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, because I don't think she's losing. We're going to have Mommy on top, so to speak, from a wrestling perspective, okay? We're going to have Rhea Ripley on top for a long time, well past WrestleMania 40. I will be shocked if they have Rhea Ripley lose at WrestleMania, because honestly, no matter who faces her at WrestleMania, they're going to get booed. I know it's not in Perth, Australia. That's obviously going to be its own animal. No one's going to get booed, or rather, no one's going to get cheered against Rhea Ripley. Ain't going to happen. So I think Rhea Ripley's going to go to WrestleMania, and whoever Rhea Ripley faces, even if it's Becky Lynch, fans are going to boo Lynch. I believe they'll boo Lynch and cheer Rhea. There's nobody they can put against her. And sure, I think that's probably where they're going, is Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania, but it doesn't matter to me. Becky's losing, Rhea's going to get cheered, and Becky will get booed. That's how hot Rhea Ripley is. So, alrighty, thanks. Let's get to Scott. Scott McCabe says, hey, Matt, after listening to the Weekend Review show, I have some thoughts on the whole Rock, Roman, Cody debacle. I am a massive supporter of Cody, and I can't believe that WWE effed up the storyline with The Rock coming out and taking Cody's shot at WrestleMania 40. But here's my theory behind it. We haven't had a contract signing yet. We all know that WWE loves contract signings. Maybe they do one after the Chamber, and Roman is looking at the contract, taking his time, and The Rock starts laying into him on the mic, saying things like the Tribal Chief wouldn't need to take their time, and they would just sign it. And then Roman signs. We then get Cody's music hitting, and he comes to the ring. Roman, Heyman, and Solo all look confused, and then The Rock announces that they should always read the contract, because at WrestleMania it'll be the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. with the most electrifying man in entertainment as the special guest referee. And then this makes sure the match is, that way he makes sure the match is fair with no interference. And you could build to Rock versus Roman during the match. Sorry, it's long. Scott from the UK. So Scott, thank you. I don't hate the story. It makes sense. The only problem is they're going to lay it all out tomorrow in the press conference. So that's not going to happen because we were told the WrestleMania main event will be laid out to the public in the press event in Vegas tomorrow, or today as you're probably listening to this. So that's not on the table. I like it because The Rock fools Roman, but also it makes Heyman look stupid because isn't he the wise man? Doesn't Roman Reigns always have his counsel to read all that fine print? So it would make Paul Heyman look like a fool. And then there'd be tension between Paul Heyman and Roman, which nobody wants. So, but I mean, Rock as special guest referee, I wouldn't mind that in any other capacity except like the Rock Roman. It's WrestleMania bound. It's WrestleMania worthy. It needs to happen at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, so does Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. So how they do this and thread the needle is going to be fascinating. And what the backlash is going to be, because there's backlash no matter what decision they make, it's also going to be fascinating. If you guys want to watch more Civil War and things blow up in a good and bad way, tomorrow on X, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow with the press conference. So watch your phones blow up. It's going to be wild. Thanks, Scott. Let's talk to, I haven't heard from this individual in a while. It's Miller from beautiful South Africa. Man, it's been a while. Great SmackDown. It could have been the worst one even, but The Rock face-to-face with Roman, or we even get The Rock being on SmackDown, late the SmackDown. That was bringing out the kid in me. I love that. Muller, that I think is also where the lines are being drawn, are the more, I guess, OG fans of WWE, as we like to put it today, or the older wrestling fans that lived through the Attitude Era and understand the value of The Rock and what he meant to the business and the significance of what it means for him to come back and wrestle the match. I think it's kind of millennials versus Gen Z here in a way. I would argue that the Cody fans, primarily, not all, not 100%, but majority of the Cody fans supporters are younger. And the millennials are the ones who are supporting The Rock coming back and facing Roman. So there is that kind of generational struggle right now. All right. So I know you, Matt, I know you're not a big fan of Cody Rhodes like me and many others, but I'm sure we can all agree, love or hate him, he has an awesome entrance song. And that was even noticeable and seen with Jimmy Uso on Friday. In such a serious moment for the Bloodline, he even moved to the beat and looks like he mouthed the words. It was fun to see how strong and appealing that song is. It is. I mean, it absolutely is a part of his success. It's a part of it, but that's only a couple minutes of Cody Rhodes, right? Like, he still has to deliver even after that music goes away and we all stop singing. It can be a kind of it can be a big addition to the character's success. It can absolutely help because it gets the fans involved and they can sing along and it's energizing and it's a catchy song. Absolutely, it's important. But ultimately, when that music turns off, what do they say? What is their presence like when the music stops? What do they do in the ring? How compelling are they in the ring? So I wouldn't say that it's a massive factor in Cody's success, but it's a big one. It's more significant than it usually is because of the song and the selection of it and the presentation of his entrance. It is powerful. It is. Again, just because you don't like a character doesn't mean that you can't objectively also say that he has a good entrance song and that it is a powerful entrance, but you can also hate the character at the same time. Both of them can be true. People today think that when you don't like something, everything else about the character you have to change to fit the fact that you don't like them. Even though when reality is in your face, you have to switch everything just because you don't like something. And I don't believe that. Anyway, loving this show so much still. Don't get much time to watch anymore, but listening to the podcast still keeps me up to date as I do. And that is incredible work from all of you. Cheers. If I may, I want to share a quote. They say the two most important days of your life are the first day when you're born and the day when you find out why. Find your why. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, but I don't know what the why is. I don't think a lot of people know what the why is. And it's the the original question of humanity since we've been put on this planet is why are we here? Why bother? Float on this? We're basically on a floating rock in infinite space. Like, what are we doing here? It sounds like another After Dark show that I could do myself, a non-wrestling podcast about like the deep meaning of things and why the hell we're here and all that kind of thing. I mean, the first day you're born, otherwise you can't have the second day because you wouldn't exist. But I get you. And I'm glad we could, continue to have you connect with wrestling, even though that you're not able to watch it because, we're all busy as hell, right? So I'm glad we can help you. All righty. Let's see. We're going to talk to Zach. What does Zach have to say? Another great patron here. Zach says, I feel like Damian Priest should cash in on Seth at WrestleMania. No one has done it since Seth Rollins 9 years ago. It would be the Heist Part 2, only this time Seth is on the other end of it. It would give Damian his Mania moment. Judgment Day celebrating would put a stamp as one of the greatest factions of all time. Love the idea of Chelsea Green winning Money in the Bank. She's perfect for it. Imagine how she'd customize the briefcase and how obnoxiously entertaining she'd be. It's only right. Lastly, Jade or Blair should eliminate one or the other, leading to a fire match at WrestleMania without a title involved. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes to all of this. I think, and I keep forgetting, and that's a good thing, that Damian Priest has that briefcase. And that, no matter what the WrestleMania main event is with Seth, and maybe it's Seth and Gunther, maybe it's Seth and Cody, maybe. Although the fans, I think, would turn on that. You heard the fans' reaction on Raw. They booed the idea of Seth and Cody Rhodes. I mean, just think about that. They booed the idea of two top guys who are in their prime main eventing WrestleMania. I mean, just take a moment to let that sink in. I don't think people have really thought about that part of it, but when it comes to Damian Priest, yes, let's do it. I mean, I think if Seth Rollins could retain at WrestleMania, which is very possible, but then here comes Damian Priest. After losing the tag titles to Awesome Truth, you think he's done for the night, and nope, cashes in and becomes world champion. So he could lose the tag titles to our Truth and The Miz, and then in the same night, win the world title. I don't hate that. I love that, actually. Damian Priest has come such a long way. So, big fan of this. Okay. I know we've... by the way, guys, I didn't even get to my email yet. Those were messages directly in Patreon, so that tells you how many emails we have. So, bear with me. Let's get to another patron, though. This is now in my email box. Let's get to Charlie. This is Charlie from Milwaukee. He says, what's going on, everyone? I just want to make a few points tonight. First, let me get this straight. After years and years of WWE teasing a Rock Roman WrestleMania match, all of a sudden a lot of people don't want it anymore. Why? Because everyone's favorite politician man of the people that comes to the ring in his suit gets his spot taken away? I wonder if Cody didn't win the Rumble, if this would be as big of a deal as it is. Well, I understand the people's frustrations. I mean, it's also, as I've mentioned over the last few days since the whole thing blew up last Friday, I think there's a lot of social contagion, meaning it's something that's happening in the culture that people just see go on and they want to be a part of it. And they don't really truly feel this way deeply. They just want to be a part of a movement that they can say they were a part of that helped change something. And that's true in all walks of life and in a lot of other areas of our culture. But with wrestling, people have seen the impact that this has had, the attention that it's gotten, and they can say, hey, I was a part of that, right? So I don't think that's everybody, but I think that's a significant portion of this is people who are lukewarm about Cody, but still want to be like, well, I want to pick a side. I got to pick a side, you know? And it's, I think a part of it is that. But you're right. How many, those very same fans that are saying, oh, Cody or nobody, right? Like, it's got to be Cody Rhodes, are the very same people who just a few months ago, or even when The Rock came back and said, maybe I should sit at the head of the table, were cheering this. All of a sudden, they've turned on it when it becomes reality. So they're saying, the very same fans who are like, oh my God, that'd be awesome, Rock Roman, let's just do this somehow. When it actually comes to fruition, and Rock apparently, not officially yet, but apparently has taken Cody Rhodes' spot at WrestleMania, are saying, well, no, wait, I didn't mean now. And then they turn on it. And now they're booing the very guy that they wanted for years to come in and face Roman Reigns. It's so fascinating to watch. Now, it's not to say I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, but it is a pretty startling juxtaposition. All right, number 2. I have a feeling that tomorrow, the press conference, they're going to announce that Roman will main event both nights. He'll face Rock on night 1 and Cody on night 2, with unfortunately Cody winning, and hopefully MJF comes out and gives Cody the old stare down. I haven't even mentioned MJF a lot. I mean, because he's kind of fallen off the radar after the AEW storyline of Adam Cole being the devil and his whole group turning on MJF. MJF has, was it All Out or All In or something at it was like a month ago. That whole storyline, which was even I don't watch AEW, it was an intriguing storyline, and I did see some of it in the finish. MJF was actually injured and has been injured for a while. I was hopeful he'd come in the Rumble, but he didn't. We still don't know for sure what contract he's signed or hasn't signed. I'd imagine he has quietly signed with AEW though, because he wouldn't, I don't think, go without a contract at this point. I think he has probably quietly re-signed, although that's not official. But MJF showing up at WrestleMania is slight. I think there's a slight chance. If it happens, sign me the hell up. Yes. But yeah, I think that you're right too, that they're going to have Roman Reigns do double duty at WrestleMania. Now, the problem with that will be, not that it won't satisfy both sides. It's a logical decision where both fan bases that are in the camp that now hate one another because they're battling of who should face Roman for the title, get what they want. They both get what they want. Rock Roman, no title, just pride. And Cody Roman for the title, where Cody finally dethrones Roman. And that would be night 2. Yes, I think that's a good solution. Again, the only problem, that would be a big slight to Seth Rollins. And it also would, I mean, what about the women? They don't get to main event anything? You know, and the World Heavyweight Championship with Seth Rollins doesn't get to main event anything at WrestleMania? Does everything fall to Roman Reigns? You know what I mean? At the throne of Roman, are we all going to just kneel before it? Apparently, that might be the solution. But you can't have everything. You can't have Rock Roman for no title, Cody Roman for the title where Cody wins, also have Seth main event WrestleMania at the same time, and have one of the women's matches main event WrestleMania at the same time. You cannot have all of those be true. That's something that can't be true at the same time. And that's the backlash they're going to receive. Well, it will suffice for the fans that are angry about both, because both fans get exactly what they want. You also are going to piss off some fans that are going to be like, what about the women? What about Roman? What about the other title, the World Heavyweight Championship? Why doesn't that get the main event? Somebody's going to be pissed off tomorrow. There's just two ways about it. There's no perfect solution to this. And Roman Reigns main eventing both nights is really to me, it's the lesser of the evils. It's the only solution they can really do at this point, unless they're going to have Cody face Roman at Elimination Chamber. Cody wins at the Chamber, and then we don't have Roman Reigns main eventing both nights. So we'll see. Second, or rather third, how can people send death threats to The Rock's daughter? To me, it just shows that some people have absolutely no class. Last I checked, she had nothing to do with this at all. Unfortunately, football season is ending on Sunday, but the plus that means that pitchers and catchers reporting on Friday means that baseball season is underway. Hopefully the Yankees finish in dead last, and either the Brewers or Red Sox win the World Series. That's all for now. Looking forward to the possibility of doing a weekend review on March 24th. We want rock. Okay, well, Charlie, you saved yourself there with the hashtag because the trash in the Yankees. Oh, I almost had to ban you. It was close. You just saved yourself. Yeah, I mean, baseball is one of my favorite pastimes as well. I mean, I understand the criticisms of it. Oh, the season's too long. The games are boring. The pacing, there's 9 innings. I haven't heard it all. It's not going to make a baseball fan like baseball less. It's never been an argument that's going to make baseball less. Because, I mean, of course, like we're baseball fans. We've seen a baseball game. We understand the pacing of the game. You know, you bringing that up to us and telling us is like saying to us, do you know that there's like a guy that stands on a mound and throws a ball to another guy who has a mitt? And then there's this dude that stands there with a piece of wood and tries to hit the ball. I mean, it's really like saying that. It's, you know, but yes, as far as the Yankees finishing dead last, I don't think they'll finish dead last. I think they probably won't win the division. And here I go into baseball talk for alienating a lot of you who don't give a damn about baseball. But I think the Yankees, my quick take, even picking up Juan Soto, the biggest free agent that was offered from an offensive standpoint over the offseason and in the winter meetings, I think they probably finish second, pick up a wild card. I don't think they win the division. I think the Orioles win the division. The Orioles are really good. Really good. So I think that the Yankees pitching is going to be faulty. They do not have a great rotation. I know they brought in Stroman. Stroman is, I think a middle of the line pitcher at best. When he has off years, he has bad off years. He pitches to contact, which is not the greatest thing to do in Yankee Stadium, given the short porch. So there, I'll stop with my baseball talk. But I think the Yankees probably get 85 to 90 wins this year, get a wild card while the Orioles go off probably early, run and hide, and capture the division in like June. So that's my take on it. So Red Sox, though, don't look like that. I mean, the Red Sox did nothing in the offseason. I mean, essentially nothing. So the Red Sox, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Yankees fan. What did they do? What did they do to improve the team? It's I mean, nothing. So I think the Red Sox probably finish 500, maybe 4th or 5th in the division. All right, Charlie. Okay, let's get to another patron. This is from Anthony from California. And he says, good morning from California. Good morning and good Lord. What a week. Is this a work? I get the dream match, but as you always say, the story matters. A 2-year buildup for this? If made official, who does this benefit or put over? Rock winning the belt does nothing for anyone, as does Roman retaining. I like you and Anthony's unbiased take on the situation on the weekend review. It was actually the current state, but we'll let that slide. And one point I found interesting is The Rock going into business for himself? I tend to think he is. Reason being, he tried to do this with the Fast and Furious franchise, as well as the DCEU. That's the DC universe, for those who don't know. With both franchises ousting him. That isn't hearsay. That isn't a rumor. It's fact. Numerous articles and interviews stating the same. Now he's coming back into his homeland and doing what is best for himself. I agree that even more that The Rock coming back is the real reason. This is polarizing and Roman Reigns is still having the title. I don't think I read that sentence correctly, but I'm too tired, so let's move on. WWE has painted themselves into a corner. I get what you're saying about not letting the fans complain and then having WWE bend to their will. This is different. Cody has endeared himself to the fans, like it or not. No, I agree. I'm not disputing the support of fans. He's got an overwhelming majority of support, by the way. I know that. And there's been a 2-year build that fans have been invested in, while also becoming exhausted of Roman carrying the title. WWE built this up and took it away, as far as we know. I think that fans are justified in their outrage. Side note, I am disappointed The Rock's daughter is facing death threats from a decision she had nothing to do with. Be better, WWE fans. I know it's a small segment of the fandom, but be better. Love hearing your opinions with the insane time in WWE. Either way, this is must-see TV and history-shaping times. Yeah, this is like, you talk about compelling television. This is must-see television now. I mean, it is. And I know I can't believe I didn't address the death threats that was also in the previous email. Yeah, this is just, it's nonsense. It's crap. Apparently she has left Twitter or left X. She's no longer there. She just decided, I'm off, I'm out, which is sad. Sad. And I hope that those people were reported, prosecuted. If you can file charges, file them. It's not funny. It's not. I mean, it's disgusting, right? I mean, are we really getting angry about fictitious storylines? Are people that invested and have that little in their lives that to them it's worth threatening the life of another human being? I don't care if it's The Rock's daughter. I don't care if it's the janitor's daughter. Whoever. So they take it out on The Rock's daughter. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's cowardice. That's dehumanizing. I mean, and a whole bunch of other adjectives that I can't say on the show. Yeah, like, come on, guys, grow up. Hopefully anybody that's listening in the sound of my voice aren't any of the ones who are doing this. I don't believe that that's true. But if you are a person that has sent a death threat over this, or any kind of death threat, really, for any reason, I mean, why? Is it that important? All right. That was a very sanitized version of what I want to say about that stuff, but it's the best I can do on a PG show. But yeah, this is compelling television. And again, nothing's official. So it's I want to be able to see and hear what WWE has to say tomorrow, because everything should be clear, at least from the main event picture of Roman and Rock and Cody, what they do with this before I can talk about things that may not be actually happening. Nothing's official. Nothing's been signed. There's no contract signings, none of that. So yeah, well, let's all, I'm going to take a step back. And let me just say this though, too. If we get Rock Roman and Cody Roman at WrestleMania, we get both of those matches on night 1, night 2, then does anyone even care if that's true? Rock's going into business for himself. Oh, okay, well, I don't care. We're still getting the match, right? We're still getting the match, non-title. Who cares what the motives behind it are? I mean, I would imagine that a lot of legends that return and have returned over the decades have gone into business for themselves and have done it for a selfish reason. I mean, honestly, there is no pure reason for anyone to come back and wrestle unless there weren't some kind of underlying reasons to do it for themselves. You think they're going to volunteer their time? You think they're going to go without pay? Of course not. So no matter what, there is always 100% of the time, without exception, an underlying selfish reason for that person to come back. And what percentage of the reason is it for The Rock to come back and have a match with Roman Reigns? What is the percentage of quote unquote going into business for himself? I don't know. If I was to guess, maybe half of it. But who cares if we get the ultimate result we want? And that's a dream match that we can all look back at and go, wow, that actually happened. And it was actually pretty good. So to me, let's let tomorrow play out with the press conference. What does WWE have to say? How do they sort through this mess? And then we can have a discussion. Once everything's official and they Adam Pearce the thing, then we can start talking about the details and start talking about, that's a bad decision. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Now this is real. Or wow, that was a great idea. Finally, they're making both sides happy. Because think about this too. You don't think that if they totally dismiss Rock and Roman and they put Cody Roman on the show and there's no Rock Roman, you don't think there would be an opposite reaction to this? It may not be as fierce, but there would be a big "We Want Rocky" or "Justice for Rocky" hashtag something going on, right? And then they'd have to deal with that side of it. So you don't want to swing the pendulum the other way. You want to center the pendulum, and you want to make both sides happy. Because if you don't, it's just going to be a back and forth battle that it's going to be distracting for the company moving forward. You don't want the fan base this divided moving forward because they'll hijack shows. It'll be distracting. It's fun for a little while, but after a while, it's just like, can we just get on with the show and watch the show without this kind of like also very fan self-serving reason? And you know, fans are they not going into business for themselves on the shows? You know, so we're all accusing The Rock of going into business for himself, and partially he is. But what are the fans doing at shows? Are the fans not trying to hijack shows now, and going into business for themselves to tell WWE, no, this is what we want? That's going into business for yourself. You know, so it's there's a lot of struggle going on, man. A lot of struggle. It is fascinating. It is fascinating. Thanks, Anthony. All right. Wow. Boy, we still got a lot of emails. This is crazy. This is just crazy. I mean, I've gone through like 10 emails already, and we've still got, double digits remaining. So let's get to more patrons here and see how many we can do before we wrap it up. DJ Kuzmo, we're going to get to you, my friend. So he says, this is DJ Kuzmo back at it again. It's been a crazy couple of days on Twitter about Cody, Rock, Roman, and Mania. So whether you're on Cody's side or the Rock side, for whatever happens at WrestleMania, let's just wait and see how things play out. Don't jump to conclusions so quickly. Anyway, that's all I want to say about the Cody Rock argument. Exactly. Let's see what happens. But here's the thing too, there, DJ. I'm on board for that. But even when we see what happens, you think that's going to stop the argument part of things? No. It's not going to. It's just the way things are right now. Anyway, it's official. The SmackDown women's roster just got an upgrade with Naomi and Tiffany Stratton this past Friday. Interesting to see where they go from here and on the road to WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair is going to be out for a couple months, but in the meantime, with the current women's roster for SmackDown and Raw, a returning Liv Morgan and Jade probably signing to SmackDown. There's so many different storylines, character developments, and potential what-ifs. Oh, yeah. The women's division has kind of got pushed aside here because of all this Rock, Roman, Cody stuff, but it can't be overlooked. It shouldn't be. We've got Naomi, big pickup again. I think Naomi's going to have a bigger impact than she has in the past. Tiffany Stratton felt like she just slid right into, a job that she's had for, 10 years. She feels very comfortable already. And we don't know where Jade's going to go. You can't put everyone on SmackDown. I know Charlotte's gone for the next, few months. But you have Jade, who I think maybe should go to Raw. So I think Jade would be a better fit on Raw. But that's just me. Right now she's feuding with a Raw star and Nia Jax. But what about Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley? There you go. There's another what if. There's so many what ifs. The women's division is about to just explode, and I mean that in a good way. So with Mercedes Moné, i.e. Sasha Banks, likely going to AEW, we don't need her. Would it add more star power? Yeah. Would it add more prestige to the women's division? Yeah, but we don't need her. Just like we don't, honestly, you could say that very same thing for any single individual on the roster, that WWE doesn't need that person. When I say need, that they would completely, WWE themselves as a company would fall apart without them. Nobody is that important singularly to the company. So when I say that about Sasha Banks, you could say that about Roman Reigns, you could say that about CM Punk, you could say that about Seth Rollins, and then the list goes on, right? So, for instance, just to ponder on, what if Nia Jax becomes world champion? What if Bianca and Jade win the women's tag titles? What if Bianca turns heel? What if Dakota Kai gets ousted from Damage Control? What if Liv Morgan wins the Elimination Chamber, and so on and so forth? Exactly. There's more things that haven't happened in the women's division that have happened. And that's something that doesn't really ever happen. A lot of happenings, right? But that's exactly right. There's usually, when you look at a division or a tag team scenario or a singles, major singles titles, you go and we've already seen this matchup and this matchup, so you got to make it feel fresh. I don't know how they're going to do it. The women's division just generally has many, many, many more combinations of things that haven't happened yet than have. And that's a good place to be, because it's going to constantly make the women's division feel fresh. And you'll always have some new thing to go to if things do start to feel a little stale. All right. Finally, what if, but not related to the women's roster, what if the tag team of Awesome Truth wins the Undisputed Tag Titles at WrestleMania? Okay, that's enough. Let me stop right there. DJ Kuzmo signing off. Have a great weekend. I mean, yeah, I brought that up many times too. I think they should. They are in a good position to win the tag titles. They should. It'd be a great moment for R-Truth. It would give The Miz something to do other than just kind of floating around oddly, which is what he's doing. Even though he had a very overachieving, successful babyface turn in my estimation, he's been just floating around kind of awkwardly. So if him and Truth can really team up and take on Judgment Day at WrestleMania and take the belts, I think that's a perfect place for them to land. Yes. So thank you, DJ. We'll get to, let's see, maybe a couple more here. And let's see. Patrons. Let's go to Patreon. Okay, Darren. Hey, WWE Podcast family. The world would be so much more peaceful if they just had Randy Orton take the belt off of Roman. And yes, Anthony, if you're listening, I know you said it first, so don't yell at me. I don't even know what else to say about the whole Rock Roman Cody thing right now. I'm so exhausted thinking of everything that could happen. Hopefully we get a more clear picture by next week. On another note, Drew McIntyre is doing incredible work. He's definitely one of my favorites right now. And for the record, I pre-ordered the deluxe version of 2K24, so I don't have to have Cody on the cover. Thanks, Darren. Darren, you are the patron of the week. If that's a thing, I guess it is now. Let's put your picture up on I'll put your picture up on my refrigerator for buying 2K24, the deluxe edition, so you specifically didn't have to have Cody on the cover. Everybody, can we give Darren a standing ovation? No? Well, I will. So, very cool. And, I mean, taking Randy Orton, taking the belt off of Roman Reigns would have solved a lot of issues, except for the fact Cody fans may have been a little annoyed, but not outraged like they are, that Cody didn't take the belt off of Roman, who to them is the end boss. He's the end game, is Roman Reigns. So they would have had to maybe take it off of Orton, which, okay, he finished his story with Orton, but those who support Cody would have said, well, but he didn't get revenge on Roman. That's the match we want to see. I know he got the belt, but it should have been Roman. So, but I mean, I think there would have been fans angry, annoyed, but not outraged to the point of being, just untamed animals about it. And yeah, I mean, Randy, I still think that that's the solution they probably should have done. And as Anthony said on Monday with our current state, this is the result. This is one of the big consequences now. They're finally starting to see the consequences of their decision to keep the belt on Roman for all time and all eternity. Is you are going to put yourself in positions like this, where you have a great story that you're trying to finish, but then you have a legend come in who's trying to take down the guy who's been champion for many years. And you put yourself in this position and having fans being forced to, battle against one another. It's not a good feeling. But again, let's let the damn press conference play out. I'm not speaking to you, Darren. I'm speaking just generally, right? Let's let this happen so we can then talk about the details, right? So, thank you so much, Darren. All right, another patron. This is Mitchell, or Mitch. He says, "Hi, Matt. Just wanted to say, great content this week. What a time to be a wrestling fan. I did not see this Cody movement coming, and it seems to be growing every day. I can't wait to see where it goes and how the WWE themselves get themselves out of this. Also, Drew's heel work lately has been absolutely brilliant, and I find myself glued to the screen every time he speaks and agreeing with most of what he says. He deserves to face Seth at WrestleMania." Yes and yes. I mean, I don't know what else to say about the Cody Roman Rock situation. I don't know how WWE gets themselves out of this, because, I mean, the answer is they don't. The answer is that they may appease the Cody and Rock fans that are battling one another, but then there'll be a new battle to fight, which I mentioned earlier of, okay, Roman is the main event of both nights. We get both matches that both fan bases want, appeasing both so they can all shut up and calm down. But then again, here comes the Seth Rollins mob, the support of the world title mob. He doesn't get a main event. Here comes that, pitchforks in hand. Here comes the supporter of the women's division. Oh crap. Now we have to justify why the women aren't getting a main event, yet we're told that they're on equal footing of the men, but yet, the same guy in the men's division's main eventing both nights. There'll always be a battle to be had. It's guaranteed. There is no perfect solution. So they'll get themselves out of one bind and put themselves right back in another. It's guaranteed. Guaranteed, unless they're making WrestleMania 4 nights. But Drew McIntyre can't be undersold. Loving everything he's doing. Absolutely loving every part of Drew. Yeah, that sounds really weird. Let me backtrack. I'm loving every part of Drew's character right now. And I'd agree, he does deserve to face Seth at WrestleMania. I just don't know if they'll go there because I feel like we just get 2 matches of Cody, or rather Seth and Drew, and Cody. I keep saying Cody. Everything seems to be Cody, right? This storyline needs to be finished for me. But Seth Rollins beat Drew twice, clean. So, yeah, but at that time, Drew wasn't as hot of a character as he is now. Things have changed, even in the short time that happened. So we'll see. Thank you, Mitchell, or Mitch. Okay. Another patron. This is from Mo. So, Mo, M-O. Good evening. What a week it's been. Have you seen Timeless Toni Storm in AEW? I think she's one of the most entertaining women currently in both AEW and WWE. No, I haven't. I know what she looks like now. I haven't really dove into what her character is about, but I've heard good things. So maybe I'll take just a few minutes, and I'm sure I can just YouTube her. But ever since she left WWE, I know she went on OnlyFans, and that was a big thing. But I'm gonna take a look at that because I've seen pictures of her. She, if I recall, she kind of had a little bit of a Lacey Evans throwback look, right? She's like a old school 19. It looks like she was dressed in 1924, but I'll do some digging on that. Ever since someone named mentioned Becky Lynch's voice, I can't take her promos seriously. It's like she's shouting in lowercase with an Irish accent. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to ruin it, or Anthony didn't mean to ruin it for everybody. I mean, Becky Lynch, she has a weird promo style, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but she has a very unique kind of delivery where she gets into this wrestling promo delivery mode. And instead of just using her natural speaking voice, it's like she's okay. Let me get in my performance mode, and it's like takes me out of the moment too. And the puckering of the lips after every sentence, I think she's calmed that down a little bit. So maybe someone nudged her aside and said, "Why do you pucker your lips after everything you say?" Because that annoyed me a lot more than anything else. So I don't know. She's an ultra talented woman. She is a Hall of Famer right now. She has more credentials than most of the women on the roster, but she has just annoying quirks about her promos. It's just, there's no other way about it. So my question, which woman has the best character currently in WWE in your opinion, and who has the worst? Can't wait for WrestleMania. If Roman's still champion after WrestleMania, I'll enter the 2025 Rumble myself. Well, thank God for that, Mo. Thank you. Thank God for that we have a savior if Roman's still champion. We now have a guaranteed Rumble winner and to take down Roman. So cool. As far as who's the best character currently in WWE, in your opinion, I mean, Rhea Ripley. I mean, that I don't even need to think twice about it. Who's the worst? Maybe like, I only say worst because I don't know who they are, is Caden Carter and Katana Chance. I mean, no one seems to give a damn about them, but why would they when they do no character development? So I think they are probably the worst, but at the same time, they're good in the ring. So I don't mean it disrespectfully, only to only to disrespect the lack of respect that they're given in character development, if that makes sense. All right. Thank you. Let's go to David Bates, who's a patron on actually a SmackDown tier patron. So thank you, Dave, or David. I don't know what you prefer, but he says, "Hey Matt, first time using the mailbag here and recently subscribed to Patreon. Just want to say I love the show. I got back into wrestling since not watching since 2016 with the main event. With the first event watching again being Payback 2023 and actually attending the Raw after Payback, which, if you don't remember, was the night they introduced the Senior Money in the Bank. I'm attending SmackDown this Friday in Charlotte, North Carolina, and another Raw in Raleigh in March." Oh, wow. Awesome. Anyway, I'm sure the mailbag is flooded with questions about opinions on The Rock, Cody, and Roman, so I'd like to ask something different. What do you think the WWE should do with Damian Priest and the Money in the Bank? With the main event title scene being a mess right now, I feel like that's a forgotten piece to the whole puzzle. Sorry if this has been long. Thank you for producing such an amazing show and making my work days go a bit quicker. Well, David, thank you for joining and supporting the show. It does mean a lot. I really do mean that. And welcome back to wrestling. You said you took a bit of a break from watching it. It was a 7-year break, so you've got a lot of catching up to do from 2016 to 2023. But first, I'm also jealous that you're attending so many live events. I'm all for, if you want to send in, just some quick notes on the shows, things that you want people to know about attending a live event. I'm not giving you a homework assignment. I'm saying if you want to, I'd love to be able to read that on the air and say, what shirts you saw, or like the demographic that was there, or things they did during the commercial breaks, or who got the biggest pops, that kind of stuff. By all means, send them in, but totally up to you. As far as the question about Damian Priest and Money in the Bank, I mean, I laid it out earlier, and I like that idea where Seth Rollins, if he faces Drew McIntyre one-on-one at WrestleMania, which I think is very likely at this point, no matter who Seth faces at WrestleMania, I think Seth should retain. And then here comes Damian Priest. Damian Priest at WrestleMania cashes in and becomes instead of Senior Money in the Bank, he becomes the world champion. So that's how I would do it, where Seth struggles, scratches claws to survive. He survives and then loses to Damian Priest, and then you get a Seth Rollins Damian Priest program, which I have no issue with at all. So that's how you do it. And you reward Seth Rollins for all of his hard work by winning at WrestleMania, retaining at WrestleMania, but also reward Damian Priest for being such an improved character, a major, massive part of the Judgment Day, and being world champion. I'd love to see what a Damian Priest world championship run looks like, and I think he'll do that at WrestleMania. So, yeah, that's how I think it all plays out. And I'm glad we can help your workday go faster. That's a good thing, right? All righty. Looking for more patrons. I have a couple more, and then I think we'll pause for the night. This is Bad Fish, and he says, "I know we're probably discussing Cody a lot this week, but it's the big story. I just wanted to say how delusional Cody fans seem to be." That trigger alert, trigger warning, right? "Personally, I don't like his babyface character, and it was overjoyed when The Rock came out on SmackDown. So I replied to someone's comment on Facebook in a WWE group, which I don't usually do, but I thought it might be it might be fun to give the Cody fans another point of view. The responses I got were hilarious. One was that The Rock and Roman would be too predictable, as if Cody and Roman was not. The best one, though, was that WWE hates Cody. That one got my head spinning. Can you believe there are people out there that actually believe that he doesn't get everything? Is it just me? Sorry for the rant. Have a good weekend." So, yeah, I mean, it's so easy to trigger Cody fans right now because they're all on edge. But the fact that to believe that WWE hates Cody, I mean, is to believe that WWE doesn't produce wrestling shows. I mean, it's preposterous, right? They don't hate. You can't hate a guy that you've made the face of the company. He's in all promotional materials. They tried to make him responsible for Jey Uso coming to Raw with these quote unquote political chips, which are imaginary. Every big thing that happens, every big save is Cody Rhodes. Somehow he was responsible. He's the white knight riding in to save the day and do the right thing. They put him on a segment on Raw for a promo every single week. In the main events, they have also made him the cover of their 2K24 video game. There's just, you can't hate a guy and also do all of those things. They're not possible to be both true. So, they want Cody to have everything. They want Cody to be champion. And I understand that. And I actually saw one of the funniest memes I saw, and it was just so funny. I wish I could, obviously this is an audio podcast, but there was a meme going around of Cody Rhodes on Raw, where Seth Rollins goes face to face with Goldberg, and we have in the middle of them, Cody Rhodes has his head in his hands as if to say, are you effing kidding me? Right? Where another legend skips to the front of the line and takes his spot. So it's hilarious. But also, that was the funniest one I saw. Cody Rhodes won the Rumble. Okay? Cody Rhodes won the Rumble, which means he's cashing in a main event at WrestleMania. To forego that would to totally desecrate what the Royal Rumble means. They're not going to do that. So Seth Rollins and Cody could still happen. I think it's unlikely at this point, very unlikely given the crowd reaction to it. But Cody is going to be in a main event at WrestleMania because he won the Rumble. So it's happening, guys. Those Cody fans, I really would not be worried at all. And Cody even put out a tweet that said, I appreciate your passion, but trust me. Meaning, guys, give it a couple days and you'll all be happy. So, all right, Badfish, keep on poking and prodding the Cody fans. I appreciate it. You're doing God's work. All right. Let's talk to one more patron. And that is, let's see here, Kareem from Gibraltar, the Pebble. All right, let's see what you got. Kareem says, hey, Matt, keeping this one short and sweet, I feel like I'm definitely in the minority in the WWE universe who is all for Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania. The level of disrespect they're showing to one of the WWE Mount Rushmores is unfathomable. The booking of this match has been extremely questionable, but surely that's on creative. This is a match we've been asking for years. We literally got Cody versus Reigns last year. The hate needs to be directed somewhere else. The Rock is back, and I'm all for it. Hashtag haters gonna hate. Keep up the strong work. Kareem from Gibraltar. Well, thank you, Kareem. And haters gonna hate, right? Boy, we're all gonna see enough of Taylor Swift this weekend, I'm sure, right? So, we did get Cody and Roman last year. We did. And I'm not supporting Cody fans or saying The Rock shouldn't be in this spot. But that was part one of a two-part story that they haven't got to finish. And I hate the whole finish your story thing, but it's true. And to kick it to another WrestleMania or to kick it even further down the road, it wouldn't align very nicely with what they're trying to do. And Cody Rhodes is the future. The Rock is not. The Rock is a big mega match one-off. And that's fine. And those things are awesome. And they're great moments. And we can talk about them. And they're video game type of moments. I get it. But for the Cody fans, Cody's going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years probably. And be the face of the company. And you have a great story going right now. The support for Cody is very high. So to put it aside and pour cold water on that for The Rock to come in and have an exhibition match with Roman, I understand the frustration. But Rock Roman is a big match. And again, I think all of this arguing is over nothing because I think we're going to get both. We're going to get both. So this arguing of having to choose one over the other is a false choice because we're going to get both. I believe. If WWE doesn't announce both of those matches tomorrow at WrestleMania and they're happening both at WrestleMania, I'll be floored. that's really the only thing they can say is both are happening, and both are going to be at WrestleMania. And they may even have The Rock interject, because The Rock's going to be there, Roman's going to be there, Cody's going to be there, Seth Rollins is going to be there. I think even Rhea Ripley's going to be there, as she should. And they're going to have a say where they're trying to maybe do damage control with The Rock and have The Rock propose, no, Rock, Cody needs to be facing Roman for the championship. I'm not here for the championship. I'm here for the intangibles, right? I'm here to take the family away from you. And I think that's The Rock's mission, which will put The Rock back in good favor. Cody Rhodes gets his match. The Cody fans get the match they wanted. Cody all but is guaranteed to beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Everybody gets what they want. But as I said, you're going to piss off a new group of fans. But all right. Yeah, tomorrow's going to give us a lot of answers, but we'll wait and see what those are. So Kareem, thank you. Thank you to everybody. Again, I have a whole new slew of emails and voicemails I haven't even touched. So we'll get to those in a part 2. I was hoping maybe I could rocket through these, and it just doesn't happen. There's too many emails, even though they're shorter, and I appreciate that. It's just the volume is a lot. So we'll do a part 2. We'll get those emails. We'll get those voicemails answered. I promise you. And thank you so much. Again, guys, if you want to go on Patreon, patreon.com/WWE podcast is the place to go for all of your ad-free content. And I think you'll enjoy it over there, as well as on Apple. Apple Podcasts is a great way to go, too, because you can just use your Apple Podcast app and get everything ad-free. There's a 7-day free trial going on right now, too, and you're not going to want to miss it. With all the news coming out and all of the craziness, you're going to want to stay here, or you can stick here. I don't know, weird choice of words, but you know what I mean. If you want to stay in touch with us and hear our opinions on all of the news that's coming out. So, all right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I will be talking to you very soon. Take care. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.